You just stay in there for a spell. But honest, I think everything will turn out right. We just need to make sure we don't tell nobody about that night, because you know Eliza won't. She's too scared. I almost forgot it myself. We've been so busy.
It is a fine edifice. An edifice of beauty and grandeur. I believe the windows are particularly fine.
So we just won't talk about it. Eliza says that's the right thing. Or would you rather we do something else?
I now pray the Almighty to defend us in this place and sustain us until it is finished, inside and out, and we have all got our endowments.
Dear Mr. Fleming, you know I'll do what you think is right, as long as I don't have to go to court. I don't think I could. I can't do that.
Now, Brother Pitt, final hymn.
Circuit Court comes to Hancock County twice each year, in May and October.
It stays a week, clears up whatever business is put before it, and then moves on to another patch of Illinois prairie.
It is May 24th, an especially clement spring Saturday. 200 Hancock County citizens crowd into the second-story courtroom in Carthage.
Roughly the same number as the mob that killed the Smiths.
Almost everybody attending court comes armed to the teeth, as if this were a militia muster instead of a trial. The St. Louis, Missouri Republican.
The decision of Judge Young to quash the jury panel is considered a great victory for the defendants, the Burlington Hawkeye.
The impression appears to be that the Mormons will not attempt a very rigorous prosecution. The Sangamo Journal.
The state of Illinois charges that the defendants, not having the fear of God before their eyes, unlawfully, willfully, and of their own malice aforethought, did cause to be killed and murdered Joseph Smith, Jr., Levi Williams, Mark Aldrich, William N. Grover, Jacob C. Davis, Thomas C. Sharp. How do you plead? Courtroom. This is not Missouri. I caution you, spectators, that I will remove the rowdy from my court. There are another 200 outside ready to take your place, so you will not be missed.
Bells, bells. A man can't hear himself think.
Your Honor, surely the dignity of this court will be better served if counsel for the state does not besmirch it with his odious oaths.
Yes, save your tavern expressions for the tavern, Mr. Lamborn. They have no place in my court.
Oh, I guess we're not going in for freedom of speech here, members of the jury.
Consider yourself warned, Mr. Lamborn.
Your Honor, I'm supposed to go first in this tea party, but my witnesses for today haven't shown their faces.
I guess the citizens of Hancock County just don't have anything to say to you, Mr. Lamborn.
Quiet!
Out of town, Lamborn! You too, Judge.
And you, Court Deputy Fleming, will accompany both of you out of my court, after which he will fetch the man on Mr. Lamborn's witness list.
Your Honor, where are the other 4 defendants in this case?
Released on recognizance bonds, as you know. They're not required to attend all sessions.
Oh, I suppose Tom Sharp here is just covering the trial for his newspaper. These men are on trial for murder, and yet, members of the jury, they're not spending a night in jail. You suppose the Smith brothers wish they'd been so lucky?
Mr. Lamborn, Mr. Browning, you're both out of order. And Mr. Browning.
Your Honor.
Please counsel your client that the court will look with little favor upon any further outbursts from him. Proceed with your opening statement, Mr. Lamborn.
Yes, sir. All right. The state's case is conspiracy. Now, what does that mean? Tom Sharp here, this fella, he called for Joseph Smith's blood in his newspaper. Listen to this.
Objection, Your Honor.
Orville, You can't object to my opening statement. It's not polite.
Your Honor, Mr. Lamborn is about to read a newspaper article. That's hearsay evidence. It's not admissible.
It ain't hearsay evidence. Your client wrote it. He called for the extermination of the Smiths. That's a direct quote.
You allege that he wrote it. It's not a signed editorial.
It's his newspaper. Mr. Sharp, did you write this?
Mr. Sharp is not in the witness stand, Mr. Lamborn. I'll allow the objection.
Well, hell.
I have cautioned you about swearing. Do you want me to find you in contempt?
No, sir. I don't fancy my chances for a safe night in Carthage jail.
Have you concluded your opening statement, Mr. Lamborn?
Just about, Your Honor. Now, none of you is a Mormon, thanks to Mr. Browning. Well, neither am I. So we don't care two spits in the wind for the man who got murdered in the jail down the street, do we? It wasn't our prophet. And he wasn't very popular around here, apparently. But now just suppose for a moment that some of you got to be unpopular with some folks in Hancock County. Think you'd still like to be protected by the law? Or would you prefer the rule of Tom Sharp, the exterminator?
Your Honor.
That's all I got to say for now.
Mr. Browning.
Thank you, Your Honor. Gentlemen of the jury, 2 men were killed in Carthage jail last June. No one disputes that tragic fact. However, some might say that the death of Joseph Smith wasn't a murder at all, but an extra-legal execution for black and serious crimes. Some might say that his tyranny, his unlawful control of the courts and the elections.
Your Honor.
Yes, Mr. Lamborn. Are you objecting?
I'm bewildered, Your Honor. You see, I thought we were trying murderers here, and Orville seems to be libeling their victim.
I'm going to overrule your bewilderment. Continue, Mr. Browning.
Now, who were the men wrongfully accused of these executions? A state senator, a clergyman, officers in the militia, a newspaper editor, respected citizens, lovers of liberty. Who is Smith? That he was in jail for treason against the state, you know.
Trumped up charge.
That Smith destroyed the sacred engine of the people's freedom, the newspaper press, you also know.
He baited a public nuisance.
Mr.
But
Lamborn.
what you do not yet know are the revelations printed about him in that newspaper. They are why he had it destroyed. Here, let me read you the true character of Joseph Smith.
Objection!
Why? Are you afraid to let the jury hear the depraved depths to which this man had sunk?
Now, this really is hearsay evidence, Your Honor. A pack of lies printed by his enemies. If I can't read my newspaper, Orville, you sure as hell can't read yours.
Mr. Lamborn is correct. The objection is sustained. And we will recess until the prosecution's witnesses arrive.
Here you are. Thank goodness. Oh. I thought I'd never find you. I've been walking through these streets. People told me you were up here at the
mansion house, they call it. How are you?
I had no idea Nauvoo was this big. All these streets, straight line this way, straight line that way. And I couldn't be sure if people could tell I ain't a Mormon.
No one's gonna hurt you here.
That's not what they say in Warsaw.
They've been real good to me. They gave me something to do and a place to stay. Oh, but I miss family, though. It's a treat to see you.
The accounts is all in a heap already.
Oh, well, don't worry. You know I'll set it all back straight again. Anne, you want to see the kitchen here?
Oh, no, I can't stay long. Mr. Fleming will take on.
He doesn't know you're here?
Goodness, no. I ain't such a fool as that. I brought your things, books you left, your sewing frame.
Oh, you shouldn't have gone to the bother. I'll be back in a week.
Well...
Anne, I'll be back in a week, won't I?
Oh, Eliza, I'm sorry.
But I was coming back. A few days after court week, same as we planned, soon as everything calmed down. You didn't tell Mr. Fleming about that night.
I couldn't help it. You know how he gets. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I got to go now. Don't be mad at me.
I'm not mad at you, Annie.
I may not get to see you again.
Why, Annie? Why?
Goodbye.